Hey gang, so today we're looking at something set by GEEONE. It's the Starship by Mackie in Blasted Titanium, currently listed at $219, and you can get 10% off if you use the code FidgetFix. Okay, so one thing Mackie does really well with their spinners is it's never just a simple spinner. There's usually something else attached to it. There's just a little extra kick. And in this case, the Starship definitely has that kick. Let's get it on the camera and have a look. It's the Starship 2.0 by Mackie. Let's go. Okay, here we go with the Starship 2.0 by Mackie. Now, unlike a regular spinner or a standard spinner, in the sense that all it does is spin, these spinners do more. These are actually fidgeting spinners, so we can actually hit all the categories with them. So let's start. Okay, playability. Well, we've got a few things here. There is the obvious spin. Now, where things come into play that gives us a bit more action are these little side plates that snap out. So if you give it a good enough kick, you get this clicking sound. And it's mostly on the stop. I love when fidgets have more than one feature to them. So in this case, a spinner, obviously the big one is the spin. Now we already have one extra little ability here, which is these balls. So as we spin, we can feel the balls inside and we can hear them moving around. And we'll get to that in the sound section in a second. But of course, with this little flying fin or these little shelves here, we get more. We don't just get a spinner that snaps open and closed. We actually get push buttons. Now that is very cool because there are times where I'm sitting on the couch and I've actually been spinning this and I kind of just zone out for a second and then I catch myself doing this. Very cool. Love it. It's a really fun little spinner. Okay, sound. Well, and again, I know that playability and sound kind of tie in together a lot of times, and we've just heard it. However, we're really going to focus on the sound now. And that means going over to the fidget mic. So we have a couple of different areas of sound. The balls inside make a lot of rattle, depending on how fast you spin it. So there's nothing, but so when you hold something sideways like this that has balls in it, you're not going to get any sound because the centrifugal force is shoving it outwards in a constant rate. But, wow, that sounded very sciencey, didn't it? But when you hold it up and down like this, so if I hold it vertical, the balls are going to drop every time they kind of get to the top. So that's why we get a much louder spinning sound. This has nothing to do with the bearing. This is all inside with the balls. Now, the one thing, too, that you may have noticed right when I just spun it there, is sometimes it's not a symmetrical spin because sometimes you'll only get one or two of these blades that open up. So it's just something to consider with this is that if you're a person that loves perfection in your spinner, this probably isn't for you. This might frustrate you because you're not always going to get that perfectly smooth spin. However, sound-wise, let's get back to sound. We're focusing on sound. The last sound is coming from these little shelves here. There's a click. And if you swing it hard enough, you hear that first snap as you sort of fire it off. But then you also get a click when you stop it. So there's a lot in here. And again, I really do like Mackie spinners and the ones that have these extra features to them. I don't like new spinners or newly designed spinners just for the sake of some weird shape to it. That doesn't really do it for me. I mean, a spinner's a spinner, right? It's just, it does one thing. But when that shape incorporates other abilities, that's when things get pretty cool. Okay, haptics. Well, with haptics, we've got actually a surprisingly large amount going on for a spinner. So the haptics come, again, from the balls moving around. And that's a very fast, like finite feeling. It's a very, very distinctive. Well, let's see, what can I compare it to? It's not a zipper sound. It's just like a constant little ping. As long as you hold it vertical. When you hold it horizontal or sideways like this or flat, you don't get anything because, again, the balls are constantly pushing outwards. This is when you start to get the ergonomics going with the balls. And it's kind of neat. It's such a small ping that it does run up my fingers, I find. Like I can kind of feel it along here. Now, the other haptic, of course, is that first launching click, and then, oh, I love this. I love just pressing against my finger and letting all the edges come in contact, and they all take their turn snapping shut. Love it. Okay, ergonomics. Well, it's a really nice feel to it, and there's wonderful things in here like these little thumb grooves for these plates, for the little ledges to lift off. The only thing I'd like to see on this is getting rid of these sharp corners. There's some pretty sharp corners here, and they do create hot spots when you've launched it, and then when you kind of close it against your fingers like this. And I know, I'm sure lots of people do it different ways, and some people are probably screaming at the monitor right now saying, well, don't rub it against your finger like that. But this is where you get the best sensation of these edges closing. So of course, when you do that, these corners dig into your skin to stop. And they're actually quite sharp. Like these, I really would have liked to have seen some work done or a bit of effort put into rounding these off. We don't need sharp corners in anything. We really don't. Other than that, though, it's got a really nice feel to it. Again, as a fidget, it's pretty interesting because one finger naturally goes here, your index, and your thumb just kind of pushes into this groove. Again, the only downside is when you're doing that, you can see these corners push into the skin like this. So that's something I'd love to see corrected, maybe in a 3.0. Okay, let's look at weight. So in grams, 83 grams and about 3 ounces. It's titanium, so it's not that heavy. It's got a lighter feel to it. And then let's look at the measurements here. Size. It's a pretty long spinner. So about 64.5 lengthwise, width 32. These are millimeters, by the way. And I'm doing millimeters because spinners are typically measured in millimeters, especially for the buttons. And about 17 height. And the actual buttons are 23. Okay, let's open this up. Now this comes with a handy little tool. This is our little Mackie wrench. Now, a lot of times you don't even really need it. You can just, like, yes, you can do this, but usually you can just kind of press down. And that's what we're doing here. So these just come right off. Now, where the tool does come in play though is the inside. And so of course you might want to do this and think, well, this doesn't fit, but Mackie's got you covered. We've got the other size in here. So let's get this out. So you can take this little ring off, you can get the bearing out. And if you have other types of balls and other materials, you could just change these out. Now, you know what? Let's just see, because I know people ask sometimes what size the balls are. So this is not in the measurement section. Let's just see for the fun of it. 6. So if you're looking to replace these balls, I mean, you can always buy them on GEEONE, obviously, but if you have your own, these are 6mm. Okay, so now we have the frame. And the last part are these little edges. They're ledges, I guess. You can actually get different ones on GEEONE. I don't think there's a huge selection, but you can. All right, let's see what we've got for size here. Here's my, there we go. T6 or T8. There we go. So we'll just take one off just to see, just to show you what's inside here. No point in taking them all off. And this comes right off. So this is just, I mean, these are always kind of a simple design. We've got a magnet here and we've got a magnet inside. And so of course, as we pull it away, it pulls back. And of course, if you go too far, it won't pull back, but that's what the little bolt here does, is it makes sure it never passes that point where it can't be attracted back. That's it. So you can upgrade these if you want. You can get different versions. Again, I haven't seen that many on GEEONE, but there may be more coming out. Who knows? That's it. And then obviously it's the same for all. So let's put this back together. Let's just put it on here first. Now, I don't know why this didn't just pop out before. It should have just popped out on its own, but it just got stuck in there. So it should just pop out next time. So if you're doing this on your own, give it a little pop. A lot of the times I'm learning this with you guys when I'm taking them apart. Okay, so one thing to consider is if you want these to fly out easily, do not over tighten them. In fact, you can give them a little loose turn if you want. And maybe if you like these super loose, just throw in a bit of Loctite, a little bit, just a tiny touch of blue. But the looser they are, the more they'll be inclined to fly outwards. And of course, when you're just kind of playing with it. I mean, this is kind of a fidget, even without the bearing in it. All right, let's load our little balls back in here. Let's go back in first. And then, like I said, you can use a tool or you can just pretty much use your fingers, and that's more than enough, I think. Okay, gang, so final thoughts. This is great. This is a really, really fun little spinner. This is not for spinner purists, though. Do not get this if you're looking for a high quality, you know, basics, like a pure spinning experience. This is not it. This is not for you. This is for the type of people that are kind of like medium spinners where, yeah, you like really high-end stuff, but you can also kind of go for the more fun stuff as well. That's what this is. This is fun, weird, but like really satisfying. Let's do a little spin outro. All right, gang. Thanks for watching.